Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever anybody is. Okay, let's see if I can see if my sound is working. Everything. Oh, that sounds good. It's working on my iPad. So if it's working on my iPad, it must be working for you as well, which is good. So here we go. Everything's working. So I've got my coffee, retired and living the dream, my Australian mug upside down. So away we go. So like it says at the bottom of the screen, your chance to ask any questions. I've got lots and lots of things to talk about today, and we can go through anything and everything. And if you've got any questions that you want to ask, please feel free to ask anything that you want. It's your program when all said and done. I'm just the deliverer of the messages and the questions that people want to know. Having lived here for a number of years, I can tell you everything that I know. And if I can't give you the answers, I can certainly direct you towards the people who can give you the answers. So here it is today. We're in March, and it is absolutely boiling hot. I'm sat here, I've got the fan on in the background type of thing. This is the hot season, so therefore, with it being the hot season, it's hot and sticky, and this is the most uncomfortable part of the year, in my opinion. But I'm going to go through that as well, because many people have asked me, I'm always singing the praises of Thailand. Is there anything that I don't like about Thailand? And yeah, not that I don't like Thailand, it's just the things that I tolerate with regard to living here in Thailand. And I think for those people who want to live in Thailand, this is what you've got to do. Tolerance. Bring your tolerance levels up, because let's face it, it is never ever going to be like back home in your home country. It's going to be different because it's a different culture, different language, different experience, everything's different. If Thailand was the same as your own country, then you'd never move over here, because this is a wonderful place, in my opinion. So we're still a minute away from when I'm scheduled to start. I like starting early, 2 or 3 minutes early, make sure everything's working properly. Otherwise, then you're just fumbling around. But it looks as if everything's working properly. Okay, comments. Okay, I'll put that up. So, hello, is the picture and the sound okay? Obviously is, because I've been looking on my little iPad, my little monitor here, and everything seems to be working. So again, it's your chance. Please feel free to ask any questions, what you want. It's 3 o'clock now, so we've got 17 people in the house, which is good. And as I say, next week, well, from after next week, the clocks go back, so it'll be a more reasonable time for those people who want to have a lay-in on a Sunday. But I appreciate those people who get up that hour earlier and come and join the live stream at 8 o'clock in the morning as opposed to 9 o'clock in the morning. That's the beauty of living here in Thailand. There's no clock. It doesn't go back or forwards for an hour. And the only lighting that changes here is between 6 and 7 o'clock. The darkest it gets quickest is at 6 o'clock, and the lightest is about 10 to 7 o'clock. So that's just one thing to getting used to. I like the light nights in the UK when it gets dark at like 10 o'clock at night. That's really, really good. But here you can sit outside even 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night because it's still warm. You just got to get past the mosquito, which is at dawn and dusk. And once you got past the mosquito time, it's okay, in my opinion. What do I think about the freeway collapse? Okay, I'll go on about that because we have to pass that because we're going to Hua Hn tomorrow for a few days. And is there any update on the tax situation in Thailand? I'm gonna talk about that as well. So two good comments. Peter Phillips, good morning, everybody. So okay, let's get started. The freeway collapse. What do I think about the freeway collapse? It's sad because there was another freeway collapse in November of last year, and a number of people were killed. And it would appear that the same things happened here. Now, again, the reports, they haven't come out. They're going to do the investigations. but what I've heard so far, it was a faulty or a mismatched crane, which was overloaded and caused an imbalance. Whether that's right or wrong or not, I don't know. That's just the preliminary investigations. But it's like with any major construction, anywhere in the world, accidents happen. And I've got to say, Thailand, yes, I mean, I've driven past this monstrous road where this motorbike goes by. A couple of young lads who want to make the little Honda Wave 125s into like a Kawasaki 1000cc. Like I say, with any monstrous road building project and bridges and construction of tunnels and things like that, there's going to be accidents. And I think it's just sad that the accident happens. 7 people have been killed up to now, so I've been informed, and up to 30 people are missing. Well, I've sort of feel sorry for the 30 people that are missing, because likelihood that they're going to be statistically, I mean, under that amount of concrete and debris type of thing, it's not a good thing to do. But again, health and safety. I've been to numerous building accidents when I did my time in the fire service, in the steelworks, in the building sites, many. And it's just like one of them things. Nobody plans to have an accident. An accident being the fact that it was an accident. But somebody's going to carry the can. Somebody's going to, be held responsible for it. It's like that ship that crashed into the oil tanker in Humberside. An accident. He went full pelt into the side of a ship that was at anchor. I mean, with all the modern technology nowadays, and especially in England, the waterways in England, one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world, an accident like that can still happen. So that's what I'm saying. Just because it's Thailand, an accident's has taken place, doesn't mean to say that, it's a drastic fault of the Thai people. Things happen, sadly, things happen. Drive that route, but often, and I don't like it. It just seems very congested. But what else could they do? There's no other, driveway to get past that point. When we went past it 2 years ago, going down to Hua Hn, a bus kicked up a stone and smashed our windscreen. So yeah, we've had accidents on there as well. That cost me like 6,000 baht to get a new windscreen because of a stone being kicked up on a bus. I've been driving in Thailand for 10 years now, and that's the only accident, touch wood, when I find some wood around here somewhere. And but on the whole, traveling around the roads seem to be okay. I would think it's, even though Thailand is regarded as being not very safe to drive around, I still think the roads are safer than they are in the UK. The quality of drivers is very, very poor, and their road safety is very, very poor. But that's one of the things that I'm going to come onto my list a little bit later on about what I don't like about Thailand, but I tolerate it. So yeah, that was a bit of a long-winded answer to that one, wasn't it? About the bridge tax update. Okay, now this should be quite interesting. The tax update. I've got people ringing me and sending me text messages and emailing me, asking me the same question: do I know anything about the tax update? Here we are, the 16th of March, and everybody's supposed to be paying the tax by the end of the March, 31st of the month. Have I got a tax number? No, I haven't. Have I done anything about it? No, I haven't. Because at the end of the day, there is still nothing sorted. A friend of mine called me yesterday, so I'm going to ask this question on YouTube to see what you've done as the member of the people living in Thailand. What have you actually done? Have you filed a tax return? Send me an email if you have, and what you've done. Hang on, where I find the so send me an email to littlepiece58@yahoo.com with what you've done with regard to tax. Now, I've been told to get a tax number. This particular company was going to charge me 7,000 baht for getting a tax number. I rang another company up, and I was had a phone call with them for 15 minutes for free. And he said, because I get my pension from the fire brigade in the UK, I don't even have to register for tax. 90% sure. I said, well, I want to be 100% sure. He said, well, I can't be 100% sure. And this was only a week and a half ago. So even a week and a half ago, a tax expert still didn't understand what was going on. So what I would suggest people to do is, if you're worried about it and you want further advice, go to the horse's mouth. Take a partner or a translator who knows, can speak fairly good English and Thai. Take them to the tax office and ask them at the tax office. If anyone knows, it's the tax office. I'll put that in inverted commas because maybe even the tax officers don't know. But that's what I'm going to do. We're away to Hua Hn next week, and then the week after, I will visit the tax office, and I will go and ask the questions myself with my wife. My wife will do the translation, and we'll go from there. We'll see what happens. But again, put in your comment in the comments here, what have you done about the tax? Have you actually paid any tax yet? Have you been told you're going to pay any tax yet? Again, I've had two tax experts tell me. One says I'll pay tax and the other one says I won't. And as short as a week and a half ago, I was still told they don't know. So there you go. We never know, do we? Right. Good morning, ladies. Ian Phillips. Good morning. John Thompson. Drive that route often. Oh, yeah, I've said that. If anybody has got a question, put a capital Q at the beginning of it, and that sticks out on the comments, because I read the comments as it scrolls down. Then I can see that it's a question, and then we'll go from there. Again, feel free to ask any questions what you want, or if you want me to give you a personal answer to anything that you've got, send me an email on this lesliepearson58@yahoo.com. I answer every email that comes in my direction. Some of them might get sent to the spam, but and every now and then I have a look at my spam box. But I'll answer it to the best of my knowledge of what I can. I'm not a guru. I'm not know everything, and some things I think as far as research is concerned, I'm pretty spot on with regard to giving the correct answers. But if I can't give you the correct answer, I'll point you in the direction of the people that can. That shipping accident wasn't an accident, Les. It was a U.S. military ship. That ship hit by the accident was captained by a Russian. Well, yeah. I mean, that's another conspiracy theory, isn't it? But I understand what you're saying, and I understand what you're saying. Question: how was the air quality in March? As you can see out here, it's beautiful. It's still sort of the smoky season, and the quality of the air up in Chiang Rai, up in that northern district is not perfect. But I don't think Thailand ever will be perfect. We've been collecting dead leaves and banana leaves and things like that, and we got a message or a notification off our village head saying that anybody caught burning rubbish will be fined 2,000 baht for just burning normal household rubbish or leaves in our situation. So we haven't burnt any leaves, type of thing. So in some way, Thailand are trying to address the problem, but it's a sticky thing to get rid of the burning season, because it costs so much money to get rid of all the stubble grass and stuff like that. And it's easier for them to burn it, the cheapest thing to burn it, than to get a tractor in and to drag it all out. Question: have you ever been to Koh Samet? From Grumpy Guy. Yes, I've been to Koh Samet many times. I actually live about 30 minutes away from Koh Samet. Koh Samet is a beautiful island. I've done a couple of videos on my trips to Koh Samet. Even in the rainy season, it's not too bad. It's okay. And Paddy Doyle is like a really, really top travel YouTuber. He'd never ever been to Koh Samet before. He'd heard of it. It was a beautiful place. And it was only a couple of months ago he went and he said this could be one of the most beautiful islands in Thailand. And I've sort of got to agree with him, because it is stunningly beautiful. It's got one of the top 10 whitest beaches in the world, and it's only a small island, so you can travel around everywhere, and it's reasonably priced. The accommodation's good. It's good. And I know I'm singing its praises again, but it's 30 minutes away from where we live. But we've just come back from Koh Chang. I would say Koh Chang, it's 3 hours away as opposed to 30 minutes away from Koh Samet. There's no army fee to pay on Koh Chang. And the army fee to get onto Koh Samet is 200 baht per foreigner, so you don't have to pay that. The hotels are a bit more expensive on Koh Samet than Koh Chang. Koh Chang is quite a big island, so there is plenty of things to do. And I've just come back. We were there for 4 days visiting a friend who has come over from the UK, and he's staying in Koh Chang for 5 weeks. So yeah, Koh Chang is beautiful, so is Koh Samet. So whichever place you go to, you won't be disappointed. So okay, dokie, right, here we go. So we've discussed the tax. With regard to the tax, again, as I say, I'd love to hear your replies as to what you've done about the tax, and if you've been told to pay tax, if you've got a tax account number and things like that, as would many other people, because it is a hot topic. It's sort of it's mentioned every time I do a live stream with regard to what the situation is. But I think when it has been resolved, which it still hasn't been yet, it will be massive news. Every YouTuber and his dog will be doing a YouTube video about the tax, how to do this, how to do that, how to do the other. So if there's no videos on it, which there isn't, or very, very few, then it still hasn't been sorted out yet, which is a shame, really. The last thing I heard, which was quite interesting, is that they were going to have a limit on it. Like if you bring in 2 million baht a year, then you'll start paying tax. For me, that makes sense. For the smaller people who are living on less than that, like for instance, if you're on a retirement visa, you have to have 800,000 baht in the bank, or 65,000 baht a month. If you've got the income method, you're showing that you've got 65,000 baht a month. So that's sort of the minimum. So round that up to like 1 million baht. Just make it more efficient and more sensible. Round it up to 2 million baht. Anybody that brings in more than 2 million baht, get them to pay the tax. But hitting the poor people, or the people on a budget here, or living just within the guidelines of living here, to tax them as well is just like a double whammy, really. And at the minute, and I'm going to come on to this, how many things Thailand are doing wrong, in my opinion, at the minute, it's just shockingly bad, especially if they're trying to get people to come and live here and retire here. The things that they're doing just lately isn't good. And I'll come on to that in a minute. Let's have a look at that. Morning, let's just return from 5 weeks in Hua Hn. I'm going down there for 5 days. I'm going 4 or 5 days to Hua Hn. And why am I going to Hua Hn for 4 or 5 days? For those people who follow my channel, they know I've done a couple of videos on assisted living. Now, the interest on assisted living here in Thailand is phenomenal. My 2 videos, one of them I've got 35,000 views, and on the other video I've got 25,000 views. Way above my normal maybe 2,000 views per video. So to me, it shows that there is interest in there. And for those people who have seen it, go and have a look at the videos about what you can do for assisted living here, the costs and that. I've gone into the costs compared to living in the UK or America, Australia, and the cost of living here on assisted living. And there's 2 companies that I'm going to. One is very, very upmarket, and the other one is I don't want to say down market, because even the cheaper one is good value and a good outfit. But the 2 companies that I'm going to go and see is this one here, which is Full Rich Assets. That's the last one that I did, and with them, they have 24-hour nurse care and things like that, and they have a gymnasium, a swimming pool, a clubhouse and things like that, and their bungalows are adapted for disabled people. And at the present, because they're building new, you can have a bespoke house built to exactly how you want. And the other one, who's been around for quite a while with Andrew Stocks, which is Sunshine Residences. Now, this is his new property that he's just opened up. It's a massive development, And Sunshine International, I was there as well. I did a video on that. And for me, two stunningly beautiful facilities offering assisted living, and with the options and things like that. Now, why am I going down there again? One, because of the interest in that, and two is because they've moved on a little bit with regard to, as I say, Sunshine International. I was there last year and they were doing a massive construction. So I think when I was talking to him, it's about 50% sold already. So the interest is there. So I'm just going to go and do a video, show you what the facilities are. So we're going down there for 3 or 4 days, and I'll do a video on both projects. So sort of kill two birds with one stone, if you like, and then hopefully give all the information to the people that want. Now, one of the information questions that I will be asking, and again, not many might have known this, but it's just come up lately in the past week or 2 weeks, is the government. Now, as I say, I don't tell anybody to do anything illegal in this country. You can do everything legally. But one of the things that was mentioned, buying houses and things like that, not just assisted living, but normal houses, is 30 plus 30 plus 30. Now, that used to be given as the normal, where you get a guaranteed 30 years, then they would give you another 30 and another 30 at that. Apparently, the government have stopped that now. They're saying that is illegal. That cannot be done. It is not the way to go. They've challenged, or they're challenging it in the courts, because that's sort of been what's been going on for a long time, where you can have 30 plus 30 plus 30. But now they've said they can guarantee the first 30, then after that, it's up to the owners whether they want to do it, but they cannot be forced to give you another 30. So again, that's all up in the courts. But I was talking to Lorenz from the Full Rich Assets, and there's a way around it, he said. So we're going to discuss that. And again, a legal way around it. I wouldn't ask anybody to do anything illegal in Thailand. So there are ways around everything. But to get your 100% certainty, not just, I'm just a normal guy, you know, I'm not a qualified accountant or a qualified lawyer, things like that. I can just suggest of the things that I've been told and what I've learned whilst living here. But if you want to know 100%, just go and contact a lawyer, a Thai lawyer. They will give you the 100% definition of what you can and what you can't do. And if you're not happy with everything, then just don't buy it, or don't lease it, or just go and find something else somewhere in part of the world. But do your own due diligence. You know, I can't be right with everything, but I will not give anybody some bad information that's going to cost them a lot of money. I always say, contact a lawyer, do what you want. Gordon Young, afternoon, Les, still here. Gordon is one of the guys that are, well, Gordon and Julie's wife, we met them in Koh Chang, and we stayed with them for a little while, and he's in Koh Chang for 5 weeks. Lucky guy, fantastic. And he's moved to that house, or one of the houses along the beach, that we're going to rent for my birthday. And there's 4 couples going to that house. So when all's said and done, it works out at 3,000 baht per couple for 2 nights in a stunningly beautiful 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house overlooking the beach. I'm so envious, because Gordon is going to live there and his wife living there for up to 5 weeks. Good for you, Gordon. And I noticed that the jellyfish had gone. Well, so are you sucking it up yet? Are you loving it? Have you caught any big fish yet? And Gordon sent me a question, and actually it's quite a good question. And it is, what are the 10 most common phrases to learn when you're coming to Thailand? And I can't speak Thai. I've lived here for 12 years. I've tried to learn Thai, but it's very, very difficult to learn. But just the basics: hello, goodbye, how are you, how much, and the numbers and things like that. I would say I know them 10. It's like hello, goodbye, which is Swadikap, which is about the same. Taurai, which is how much. Banai, where you're going. Sabai, Sabai, are you okay? Are you okay? And Swadi Pimai, Happy New Year. And the numbers, Nung Song Sam, I'm quite good at the numbers. Excuse me, Kortot. thank you, Cop and Cap, and thank you, Cap Kun. So yeah, I think I've got about the 10 garden. I haven't counted them all. You might have counted them already, but I probably know about 10. But I've got a book that I've just bought that I'm going to try and learn how to read Thai. And there's somebody else sent me a link to one program. You only need 200 Thai words, and then you can have a really good understanding of what's going on. 200 most common words in Thai. So that I'm going to download that information as well. So my goal for this year is to speak a lot more Thai this year than I have done in the past 12 years. So fingers crossed for that. Again, Thai language is very, very difficult. I thought French and Italian was difficult, but Thai is just so difficult to do. All right. Hello, Les. Dave and Anne from Gisborough, listening to you on the beach in Kolak near Hua Hn. Loving this retirement, larking, live in paradise. Keep up the good work. Well, yeah. Gisborough and a tropical island. Yeah, give me the tropical island. Enjoy your holiday. As we're coming into the rainy season now, so you might get a few more showery days, but on the whole, it's still nice. Even the rain's warm over here. If they ever build them using best practices with wider hallways and entrances, handrails, non-slip floors, etc. Yeah, again, Lorenz, the houses that I showcased on the video were just normal standard houses. But if anybody had bought them, then they could adapt them. They could put the ramps up the stairs and they can put the grab rails on and things like that. So now I'm going down because now they had so many houses that were available for people with empty plots. They could actually get a bespoke house designed and built exactly how they want. Obviously within the same footprint type of thing. So this is where I'm going to go to have a look at the houses that have been adapted and bespoke built for disabled people. There's something like 195 houses, I believe, that we're going to build for this assisted living village. So again, it's been 4 months since I was down there, so they must have done a few other things. He sent me some pictures. Now I want to go and see the finished product and hopefully interview a few people that are down there, and we'll just play it by ear and see what happens. But again, the other place with Prestige, Sunshine International, again, that is sort of way up market, and we'll do a video on that as well. So I'm looking forward to doing it. It's a holiday, and I've got loads of information to give. But yeah, again, all of these things are possible with the grab rails, wider entrance doors into the bathrooms, 2 bedrooms as opposed to 3, so you can have a bigger lounge. You can make everything bigger. It's up to you really, but at the end of the day, it's still going to cost about the same price, 3.7 million. But the leasing for me is a big factor, where before you could get 30 plus 30 plus 30. So it was always going to be in your family. If you like, you can pass it on to your relatives, family and friends. But the 30-year lease, for me, I think that will cause a few problems. But according to Lorenz, they've got a solution to it, 100% legal. So I shall be given that solution as to what people are looking for. Fingers crossed. Les, we sold up in the UK and moved here 31st of December. 31st. Wow, that was a good day to move, wasn't it? New Year's Eve. I arrived here on a New Year's Eve. Me and my Chinese wife broke up on a Boxing Day. We had a big argument, and by New Year's Eve, I was in Thailand. So I did everything as far as giving the apartment back, bringing all of the stuff back from Southampton back to Redcar, back down to Southampton, handing the keys in, driving to the airport, and I landed in Thailand New Year's Eve, and I've never looked back. So well done. ETA, good idea for Thailand. Yeah. Okay, right, let's go on from something else. So we've discussed the assisted living. As if you haven't seen them videos, they're well worth having a look at. As I say, 35,000 views and 25,000 views respectively. So it's worth a look at. So what are the other things I think Thailand are doing wrong at the minute? And I'm just a normal guy, and I look at everything that goes on, and if I can see that something's not quite right, then I'm sure anybody can see it. So the visas at the minute, it's sort of a knee-jerk reaction from people are washing the money over here, shall we say, because there's only certain things I can say here on YouTube, but people are washing things that they shouldn't be washing things over here, which is causing a problem with the banks and that. And now it is so difficult to get a bank account opened on a tourist visa. They've stopped it. Even the agents are finding it difficult to open up a bank account, and they have their contacts and they wave their magic wand, but at the minute the magic wand isn't working. So basically it's like a chicken and egg situation here. You can get a visa, a retirement visa, if you've got a bank account. And if you haven't got a bank account, you can't get your visa. So you need one or the other. And the agents were then people who could go between all of them and open up everything. So apparently there's been 90,000 bank accounts frozen. Now these will be, some of them are going to be the ones where the agents put a certain amount of money into a bank account for a sum of like 3 or 4 minutes, and then it disappears. So again, those people that are looking into these bank accounts see 800 or 900,000 baht going into a bank account and then coming out. That is going to raise a red flag. So therefore, these are the things that's happening. People are getting the bank accounts frozen or stopped, and they're looking into it. And also there is people washing all sorts of things over here as well. So they are cracking down on things like that, but that has a knock-on effect to other things. And at the minute, people are struggling to get their visas renewed with an agent because of the crackdown. But when all said and done, there's no need to panic. And there is a lot of people, I've got a lot of emails, people, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? My agent can't get me I'm going to be thrown out of the country. No, it's like calm down and carry on. Basically, what I suggest to people, if you are in that situation, leave the country, go on a trip to Cambodia or something like that. Forget about your retirement visa if it's running out or it's about to run out, and come back in on a tourist visa. Come back in on a tourist visa, you're going to get 60 days, and that's going to change just been out also, and I'll come on to that in a minute. So at the minute, come back in on a 60-day, visa, and then you can extend that for 30 days. Given you 90 days, so many things will change within them 90 days. And then you can go through the process again of getting your retirement visa via an agent. What I think will happen is that the agents will start charging a little bit more because of people always make money, don't they, out of bad situations. So I think that the agents will charge you a little bit more money for getting you your visas and things like that. So I think the prices will go up on that. But it will be possible again. The agents will be able to do it because there are so many agents and so many people that use the agents. It's just incredible the amount of people that use the agents. So if they don't, for instance, if all the agents were told to go tomorrow, there'd be a mass exodus of Thailand. And again, that's just shooting themselves in the foot. I agree they've got to do something about what's going on at present, because they don't want to be labelled the washing of various things in the whole world, as the UK is in London. That's supposedly one of the biggest washing machines in the world, London. But there we go. Hang on, there's a question there. But anyway, I'll carry on. Sorry, I've missed that. Any chance of sharing that link, Les, regarding Thai? Send me an email. If you send me an email, then I'll send the link, because I can't quite remember. I've just seen it on one of my Facebook. People message me all sorts of things, and I've got the book, which Ricky from Ricky in Isan. he recommended the book. So I got it off him. And as I said, 200 words of essential Thai. So yeah, I'll send me an email and I'll send you the link and the information that I've got. Yeah, no problem. So getting back onto that. So because of the bank situation, it's caused a ripple effect for the visas and things like that. So just don't worry about it. It's one of them things. If you're using an agent, it's a bit of a hiccup, but it will resolve itself very, very quickly. I reckon within six weeks, 2 months, it'll resolve itself. And because I remember the last time this happened, where you couldn't open a bank account or get a visa, everybody was saying, oh, that's it, the agents are going to be sacked, there's going to be no more agents, blah, blah, blah. And there's more agents now than there was 10 years ago. So the facility is there for the agents, and the agents wave their magic wand and things happen. So don't worry about it. You just might have to have a plan B. So have a plan B and then go along with that, which is easy enough to do. Hi, Dave. Got to love Thailand. How's it going, Dave? I sent you a message about your boat, your kayak. I'll be interested in watching your kayak boat. Dave from Got to Love Thailand, a nice guy, an American guy, and he sort of got a boat that is solar powered with a little engine and things like that, and to go fishing. And he's a gadget man, and he's got all sorts of gadgets. And how's your trailer going, Dave? Have you managed to get your trailer sorted out, or have you started it? He wants to put a trailer on the back of his Forza 350 camping trailer. He's an interesting guy. He does live streams, if you like live streams, twice a week on a Wednesday and Saturday. And I watched the rerun the other day, Dave. 8 o'clock in the morning. I usually get up about 7 to 9 o'clock, but I've got things to do, answering emails. So I sometimes miss yours, but very interesting. My wife, Thai, can't get a marriage visa easy. My wife, Thai, can I... Oh, right. My wife is Thai. Can I get a marriage visa easy? No. The marriage visa isn't easy to get at all. It is quite difficult to get. And again, I've done a video on that, and you jump through a lot of hoops. And my friend... If you want to talk to somebody that's actually just gone through getting a marriage visa, and his name is Dave from Retire Don't Give Up, and he's going to do a visa. Yeah, he's going to do a visa. There. He's going to do a video on his trials and tribulations of getting his marriage visa. So that is up to date, and he'll be doing that video in the next week or 2 weeks. But have a look at his channel, Dave Clark from Retired Don't Give Up. And he's going to do a video on getting the marriage visa. Now, again, me and him have spoken. I've pointed him in the right direction sometimes. And there was a guy I was speaking to yesterday. He's on about getting married. And there's so many hoops you've got to jump through. But once you've got the marriage visa, there's a lot of paperwork to renew that every single year. It takes a whole mountain of paperwork to keep it up. And it's not easy. But it's not impossible. But it takes. I've done the marriage visa now for the past 6 years, and we've had problems every single year that we've been there. What problems? I hear you asking. Just extra information. Sometimes we provide all the paperwork that they ask for, and then she sat there looking at it and saying, "Electricity bill. I want to see the electricity bill." And I used to argue in the first place, and I said, "Where does it say on the official documentation required you want to see the electricity bill?" And she just looked at me in Thai, and because it was my wife who translated, because she couldn't even speak English. Electricity bill. I want to see the electricity bill. So we did that. And then this year, they wanted to know why my income, because I was sending about 65,000 baht a month over to my account. And when I went back to the UK for 3 months, I reduced it down to 43, which is just above the minimum what they're required to see. They wanted me to tell them why I'd reduced the amount of money. And I said, it's nothing to do with you. I said, it's up to me how much money. We want to see why. So they can ask whatever they want, how silly it is, or how silly it is to you, they are the people with the power of the pen. So basically, what I had to do is show them the money that I transferred from my English account over to TransferWise over to Thailand. They seen my pension letter that I get from the fire brigade pension, and they were asking me, why doesn't it have a government stamp on it? Because then she showed me the documentation from the American Social Security, which is a government pension thing, and the Americans put a stamp on it. So she said to me, why haven't you got a stamp on your information? I said, because our government don't do stamps. And she said, why? I said, well, I don't know. You need to ask them. So they did put a few spokes in the wheels, but I still got my marriage visa at the end of the day. But the marriage visa can be complicated, but it's the information that you want from the immigration office. When all said and done, they are there to help you. It's never impossible, the information that they ask for, but it can be time consuming and frustrating sometimes. So getting a marriage visa in Thailand isn't easy at all. So I hope that sort of explains it. But again, have a look at the video, and I give you a list of all the paperwork that they're asking for. But you can still go down to the information, and the immigration officer will tell you exactly what they want to know. Oh yeah, the trailer's 98%. Oh, that's good, Dave. I'm looking forward to that one. That'd be an interesting one to see. Pierre King, question, Les. Where do you stand regarding your solar panel system at home? Did you increase your battery capacity? This will be the next project in my little farm. Funny enough, everything that's today, me fan, me computer, everything's running on solar at the minute. I've got everything plugged into the solar. I haven't upgraded the battery system yet, no, because we bought an air conditioning unit for the bedroom. Now, we've had no air conditioning in the bedroom for the past 2 years, and now we're in hot season, and it can be hot and sticky, but I've got used to it. We've got the 2 fans on. My wife's not allergic to the air conditioning, but she wakes up with a sore throat, so she doesn't want air conditioning in the bedroom. So for this year, we came to a compromise. I'm going to put air conditioning in to the bedroom, but I'll only run it for an hour and a half because we've insulated the ceiling in the bedroom to stop all of that heat coming in. So basically, we run the air conditioning for half an hour on the night time when we go to bed, and we switch it off. And I've got it on the timer, so just in case we fall asleep whilst it's on, it switches off within an hour of it going on. And I've got to say that's perfect for us. So the money that I had for the batteries, to increase the batteries, we've spent on the air conditioning units. So again, everything at the minute, our electricity bill at present is only 400 baht, about between £8 and £10 a month, because of the solar that supplies the TV, the computers, the fans. So it runs pretty much half the house already on the solar that we've got. But again, yeah, that will be in the future, doing the upgrading my solar panels. I'll get 1 more solar panel and 2 more batteries. The batteries are running at now 5,800 baht each. And when I bought the 2 batteries, they were 7,000 baht each. So they have come down in price, and I'm sure they'll keep on coming down in price. That was for the LivePro 4 batteries. So thanks very much for that one. I hope that answers your question. But good luck with your solar project on your little farm. I can't see why not. I mean, solar over here is a no-brainer, really. But because of the electricity so cheap, the Thai people won't do it. So what's the best visa to get? Or how long's a piece of string, really? I don't know. That's a personal preference. Now there's the destination Thailand visa. That's sort of, you can renew that for up to 5 years, which is good. But again, with every visa there's hoops to jump through and things like that. But I would definitely say the visa not to get is the elite visa, because you just lose a lot of money, and for not much. You can almost get the same amount of things doing the normal retirement visa than you can with the elite visa. For me, the elite visa doesn't give you 600,000 bahts worth of extras, because once you paid them the 600,000 baht for the elite visa for 5 years, you do not get a single penny back. Whereas if you do the retirement visa, you can get agents that will do your 90-day report, and you just need to go to the immigration officer once a year. Everything else is taken care of, and you get your 800,000 baht back. So if you've got that amount of money to throw away, you can pay people to make your life a lot easier, and you get your money back at the end of the day. But that's my preferences. Seems like shady agents who transfer large sums in and out of accounts is quite common. Is that simply because some retirees don't have sufficient funds for the visa? It hits the nail on the head, 100%. But believe it or not, agents are not doing anything illegal. It is sort of acceptable over here because we live in a land of bendy rules in Thailand. And I believe Thailand wants good people in, bad people out, and there's nothing wrong with that. And there are ways and means of living a good lifestyle here in Thailand, even if you don't adhere to all of the financial criteria that is requested. So, yeah, I mean, there's a price point for everything, and there are ways around the visa system. And again, the agents are a way around the visa system, but there are other ways that you can negate the visa system. 100% legal. I wouldn't recommend anything to do with anything illegal in Thailand because everything has a cost to it. But there are other ways that you don't have to use an agent and are more legal than using an agent, if you like, if you think using an agent is illegal, which it isn't. They just have different ways and different methods. And again, Thailand is the place of opportunity where these different methods work. But it's no different to any other country in the world. Every other country, I mean, look at what's going on in the UK. You're trying to tell me that, you know, nothing untoward is going on with the people who are coming into the UK? How many rules are bent, manipulated and used against the laws of the UK to get people to stay in the UK? So, you know, as in Rome, live as the Romans do. As in Thailand, live how the Thais do. And it's a land of opportunities, and these things can happen. And many people can live in Thailand, have a good lifestyle, and less money than they're asking for. So that's just my summing up of it. Yeah, Les, that's amazing. 400 baht, well done. Yeah, I mean, it's good. As I say, 400 baht is not, I mean, before it was only 800 baht. So we've only actually knocked 400 baht, about £8 off our bill. But it still equates to about 30% of our bill is now taken care of on the solar panels. So, you know, a lot of people have knocked me and said, oh, so it's only like £8. Yeah, but it's still 30%. It's the percentage that you look at, not the actual savings, because our electricity bill was never, ever over 1,000 baht, ever, in the 8 years that we've lived here. It normally is around 700 to 800 baht, but now it's 400 baht, so which is even better. But again, solar, I do it as a hobby, not as a, you know, because if I did a full system here, it's a 7 to 9 year payback. And again, I just play around with it. I enjoy doing it, and it gives me something to do as well. Dave's 14,800, and my solar now is 3,500. That's quite a big saving, Dave. Well done. Hi from Isan. Money and my son, generational wealth, money tree with knowledge. Your stream is good, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Again, as I said, there's plenty of ways of saving money over here in Thailand. I live here in Thailand compared to the UK because it is much cheaper. I get a better standard of living here. It's just people need to look out the box sometimes and go where the lifestyle is better. And again, I've done many videos with regard to that: costs of housing, cost of food, cost of everything else. And this assisted living that I'm going to be doing next week, looking at that, that is a huge amount of money to be saved in our later years when we get to that stage where we might have to have care or caregivers. And when all said and done, modern day families now, if you've got kids, both of them, or all of them, even as married couples, still have to work to provide a roof over the head just for one couple without taking care of the family. And that's what I like about Thailand. Thailand is family orientated. They don't have the big money or the incomes or the benefits that we have in the Western world, but the older people are looked after far better than the older people in our Western countries. So have they got it right? I think they have. And by offering the services what they have over here, in your golden years, you can live a fantastic lifestyle. Because let's face it, we're all going to get old. Things are going to start going wrong. And I've done many things on videos with regard to medical care and the cost of medical care and the alternatives. If you can't afford to buy the medical insurance, there are other ways around the system as well, which will ultimately help you save money in the long run. So if you can't afford medical insurance, that doesn't put an end to your dreams, because there are other ways and other things that you can do to sort of mitigate things that are going to go wrong. You'll never ever do away with it, obviously, but there are other things. It's looking out the box and looking at different alternatives, and I'm full of them alternatives. I'm a problem solver, and there's always a solution to any problem in the world. Okay, right. Where else are we going to? Okay, going on to singing Thailand's praises. What do I not like about Thailand? Okay, this is sort of my own opinion of it. And again, we'll all have our own opinions of what we like and what we don't like in Thailand. But there we go. Your chance to ask any questions. So, what don't I like about Thailand? Okay, the driving standards in Thailand are that it's dangerous because lots of people here don't have licenses and things like that. They could make it easier so that everybody has a license, but it's difficult to get. It's very time consuming, and I understand why a lot of Thai people don't have licenses, because it could take up to a day to go through all the paperwork and bureaucracy to get your driver's license. Now, that's a day's wages to everybody that tries to get their license. You only get it for the first 2 years, then you have to renew it and go through a similar process again, which could take half a day to get your license sorted out. And then it's every 5 years you get to renew it. But that's the Thai system. I'm not knocking the system. I'm just saying maybe that's why lots of people don't have driver's license. Foreigners driving over. Now, this is my pet hate, where I don't particularly like. Foreigners drink and drive horribly too much over here because they get away with it. In England, every time you leave a pub, it is socially unacceptable to drink and drive in the UK, and I'm sure it would be the same in Australia and America. Socially unacceptable and socially frowned upon, and your chances of getting caught is very, very high because there's police everywhere in the UK for drink driving on a night time. Now here, the chances, I tell a lie, I've been stopped by the police 2 or 3 times on my motorbike when I'm driving around in Ban Phe, and I was stopped on the motorway once by a traffic cop because I drove through a toll booth barrier, and he asked me to stop, and I thought he was waving me on. But so I've never ever been stopped on a night time by the police, but I know foreigner guys who get stopped by the police, drink driving, they've had the breathalyzer, it showed that they're over the limit, and they just talk their way out of it and offer a brown envelope, and they're sent on their merry little way. This happens all the time over in Thailand. That's what I don't like about it, because drinking and driving is a horrible crime, and the results of you hitting somebody and killing somebody isn't a pleasant thing. So many foreigners do drink and drive over here, which is my little pet hate. I don't drink and drive. If we're going out with a group of people, for instance, a beach barbecue or something like that, I'll stop in a local hotel. I'll park the car up, go to the barbecue, and then sleep it off in the local hotel, which is just a cheap, between $500 and $700 a night. It's cheaper than trying to get a taxi home. And where I live, we don't have any taxis on the night time. So if you're driving your car, you've got no chance. You've got no choice. And that's why people do it, because transportation to get a taxi home is few and far between, especially where I live, because I live semi-remote. So drinking and driving by foreigners, I don't like that, but I tolerate it because there's nothing else I can do about it. And I make my voice known about it to those people who do drink and drive, and I don't like it. Toilets in Thailand are disgusting. Some of the places, some of the toilets, are disgusting for guys to go to, and we just stand up. It's so easy for us guys, but some of the ladies that go to the toilets, I just, ladies tend to be a lot more fussy about going to the toilets than the guys, because they can't pee the way we do. So I feel sorry for some of the ladies in some of the toilets in the establishments, in the various bars, wherever you're going to go to. They are not the best toilets in the world. And some of the petrol stations, now they're really, really, PTT petrol stations, their bathrooms and toilet facilities are very, very good. So if you're going to use the bathrooms, PTT petrol stations are the best. But that's another little pet hate. But I tolerate it because I live here. Walkways, pathways are terrible. Not disabled friendly at all, not people friendly. There's holes all over the place, rickety, bent, broken, whatever. So many pathways. In fact, there isn't any pathways. The UK, there's paths everywhere, and there's drop curbs. So for those people on a wheelchair or pushing a pram, something like that, drop curbs so people don't have to go up and down. It's really, really good in the UK. But over here, they don't have it. It's dangerous. And for those people who are, a little bit unsure on their footwork, they can have an accident. And having an accident over here isn't a pleasant thing to do either. So again, these are the things that I don't particularly like, but I tolerate it because I'm living over here, because I don't want it to be like the UK. It is what it is, Thailand. So I tolerate that. And so as far as, retired and living the dream, it isn't perfect over here. But for me, it's 90% perfect. And I'd sooner live with 90% perfect than living in the UK. Crime over here is very, very low. That's one of the good points, I think. It's very, very low. Crime happens everywhere in the world, but crime over here in Thailand, it's okay. It's not that bad. Do you have to pay property tax in Thailand? Curious how much we pay. 9,600 annually, and in the US 800 monthly, which is outrageous. No, we don't. When you buy the property, there's a property tax to pay, but on a monthly basis, when I lived in the UK, my council tax was about 120, 130 pounds a month, and that's whether you live in the house or whether you don't. So that's a similar sort of thing that you're on about property tax. There are guys that I'm talking to now who are paying like 160, 180 pounds a month council tax, and add another 40 odd pounds a month for water rates, which is what you have to pay whether you live there, whether you don't. So rounded up, it's 200 pounds a month. Now you could rent a property over here for 200 pounds a month, about 10,000 baht, and there's no property tax, there's nothing else to pay. If you buy a condo or you buy a house in a resort type of thing, yes, then there is a maintenance fee to pay. And that can be anywhere from 450 baht a month, which we were talking to some owners, some condos the other day, up to 3,000 baht a month. Now, the assisted living, because you're living on the complex there, for the garden, for the nurse care and things like that, that is 3,000 baht a month. So that's the most expensive at 3,000 baht a month. So, 450 is the cheapest that people have told me. 3,000 baht a month is the most expensive that people have told me, and everything in between. So that's the only thing that you have to pay. My water rates here, as in water rates, we have Towns Water, we put it through our own filter, and we just paid our water bill, and it's 20 baht a month, like 40, 50 pence a month, which is nothing. We have a septic tank, which we empty every couple of years, and that's like a tenner to get the septic tank emptied. So that side of it is next to nothing. Insurance, we've got property insurance here for 3.5 million baht, and that costs us £120 a year for earthquake, lightning, fire, theft, structural collapse or whatever. So it's £120 a year. So it's not a lot of money, is it? So everything over here is cheap. My car insurance for fully comprehensive, for replacement cost of 300,000 baht car, that is again 6,500 baht a year, 130 quid or something like that. So it's not. That's what I like about Thailand, because everything is reasonably affordable, and it really is. I've got a few flies flying around it because we're coming into rainy season now. There's a lot more flies about, and there's little black flies around your eyes and around your nose. So that's one of the other things I don't particularly like. The amount of flies goes up, and the little pesky little flies that are trying to get into the moisture on your eye. Hello, Les. We returned from a 4-week trip to Vietnam. Lots of opportunities, it would seem. Do you have any experience with Vietnam? Yes, I do. Vietnam is a beautiful place. We've traveled from the southernmost Vietnam up to the northernmost Vietnam and everything in between. So Da Nang, Hanoi, Sapa. Sapa is probably one of the most beautiful places in the world. And I would say to everybody, go to Sapa. I've been around the world, and I've got to say Sapa, for me, is the number one awe-inspiring location in the world. Beautiful. Yeah, I've been to Da Nang, Hanoi, Ha Long Bay. In fact, we plan on going back to Sapa next year, about October, November time next year. So many places that we've got to travel. Question from Gordon: best coffee, Amazon. Go to Amazon Coffee. They are the most reasonably priced coffee, and their coffee is lovely. Amazon on Koh Chang. I think there's a few Amazon coffee shops in Koh Chang, but Black Canyon coffee shops, they are very expensive, and the coffee isn't as nice. Starbucks coffee, forget about Starbucks coffee, but Cafe Amazon, it's the same quality no matter where you go. At all the motorway service stations, PTT, you pay the same price for a coffee there as you would do in any shop around Thailand. You don't get ripped off at the motorway service stations here like you do in the UK, where you pay quadruple the price for everything. But if you extend your stay, Gordon, and you come to my house, I've got a coffee maker, and I've got proper coffee with a proper coffee machine, and it hisses and it sisses, and the coffee over here is lovely. So if you extend your stay, you're more than welcome to stay here, and you can sample my coffee. But I used to run a coffee shop in Ban Phe, and I used Bon Cafe coffee, and that's like the ready powder or the beans and stuff like that. So you grind them or crush them, whatever you want to do. But Bon Cafe morning coffee, Bon Cafe daily coffee, they are quite nice as well. Malcolm Day, hi Les, what about the waste collection, bin collection? How much? Oh, this will shock you. Our bins get emptied twice a week, and it's 30 baht a month, 60 pence, maybe 70 pence a month to get your bins emptied twice a week. And there's none of these like recycle where you've got 3 or 4 or 5 different bins, and if the lid isn't closed, they won't even collect it. And but people recycle everything over here. It's like the plastic bottles, drink all our water with the plastic bottles, we put them in a separate bag next to the bin. So somebody comes around every day, checks all the bins and collects all the plastic bottles. Cardboard boxes, we don't put them in the bin, we put them next to the bin so they don't get soiled by any food products and things like that. People will collect anything and everything over here. Our old air conditioning unit, we threw that out, and my wife says, no, bring it back in, I can sell that. So we brought it back in, and the scrap man that comes round, he gave us 160 baht for an old air conditioning unit, and they'll just recycle that. So they recycle everything over here. If you put anything out in the bins, plastic or glass bottles, like beer bottles, your Chang or your Leo bottles, there is a market for that. People will come and collect it. So, and that's how some people make their money here, just by collecting such things as plastic and glass over here. So yeah, 70 pence a month to get our bins collected. Currently paying 2,668 yearly council tax here in the UK. It rises by 6% tax this year. Where I live, it's daylight robbery and there's no service for the money. Yeah, again, it's just crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. People keep saying to me, at the minute, the exchange rate is very volatile. It went down to as little as 42, and it's hovering around 43.5 now. And at its best, before Brexit, it was 52. And then the day after Brexit, it dropped down to 48, and it dropped all the way down to 37. So people say to me, oh, it's volatile, it's crazy because, you're going to lose money. And you take the rough with the smooth, in my mind. But what you've just said there, 6% rise in your council tax, that takes care of any volatility, in my mind, with the exchange rates. And like the inflation over here is between 3 and 5%. Now, when everything is low here anyway, 3 to 5% rise is very little on a little amount anyway. But what you're paying, a 3 or 5% rise on anything, is a lot more than my 3 or 5%. So you get better bang for your buck over here. But I'm always going to say that anyway. But I'm not biased about that. I just looked at a cheaper place to live, and Thailand is the cheaper place to live for me. And I enjoy it, and I always will do. Hot espresso poured over chilled milk in Thailand are the best. I've got to say, my best coffee that I liked was in Vietnam, the Vietnamese drip coffee. Now that's just lovely. On the walkways, virtually everywhere in Vietnam they do the Vietnamese drip coffee, and that's just like to die for. It's beautiful. It really, really is nice. Gordon, we'll take that into consideration, boss. Home's not calling, but the dog is. Okay, Gordon, enjoy, mate. Enjoy the rest of your holidays. We're off down to Hua Hn tomorrow. It's a 6-hour drive, and we're down there for 4 or 5 days, and we come back for 1 or 2 days, and then we're off on another little 2-night away with a group of friends. So this month is just full of holidays and having a good time, that's what retirement is all about. So thanks for joining in, Gordon. Enjoy the rest of your day, mate. Thanks for joining. Okay, I touched on it a little bit early with medical insurance and health insurance and ways of not getting around the system, but looking at it with different eyes, if you like. Now, I'm 64 and I'm coming up to 65 in July. So my medical insurance, I'm just lucky that I got my medical insurance out when I did. I've had it now for 10 years. So I've always had it for 10 years. So at the time I took it out, there's no pre-existing condition. So everything's covered now. I've got a little bit of arthritis. I've got a little bit of emphysema, things like that. But I'm still covered. And because I took it out in the June, which is before my birthday, I still pay at 64 because I'm technically still 64 when I take out my insurance. Now this year it's likely to be about 25,000 baht. It was 24,500 last year. It will go up a little bit, but I'm sure it'll be about 25,000 baht this year. But next year when I'm 65, proper 65, going on to 66, it will go up to about 30,000 baht. But that goes up with the cost of inflation and one thing and another. The cost of premiums always goes up anyway. It never comes down. So next year, it'll be around about 30,000 baht. And that was for 700,000 bahts worth of cover, and that's with Pacific Cross. Now, as I say, for some people that have got pre-existing conditions and things like that, it could be prohibitively expensive to get your medical insurance to cover you with everything. But listen to what I'm going to say. There are several ways that you can sort of get around this situation. You can get around the visas because there's agents and stuff like that, but you cannot get around medical insurance. You need medical insurance or the facilities to take care of anything, accidents and things like that. So these are a couple of ways of looking upon it. If you're on a retirement visa, then you have 800,000 baht in the bank anyway. So if that is all of your savings that you've got, and you use that to be able to fund getting your retirement visa here, well, then you can make that 800,000 baht work twice for you. Because one, it'll work to get your retirement visa, and two, it's emergency medical cover, 800,000. And the people are going to say, oh yeah, but once you've used your 800,000, then you can't get your retirement visa. But yes, you can, because that's where the agents come in. Because then you can, if you have to use over 400,000, because you're allowed to go down to 400,000 anyway on your retirement visa, up until 2 months before you have to renew it, but you cannot go a baht below 400,000. So if you have to go below the 400,000 for medical care and things like that, then you just use an agent the following year to be able to get your retirement visa back. Okay, it might cost you 30,000 baht or something, but if you need the money for your medical care, that's more important to have your medical care than have your retirement visa, because an agent will take care of that. So that's one way of doing it. And the second way of doing it is that if you got an agent to get you your retirement visa for the year that you've lost your 800,000, then you just put your 65,000 baht into a month for a year. Whilst you've got your visa, there's your income method. So then the following year, you only have to pay 1,200 baht for your retirement visa by using the money as an income method at 65,000 baht a month. And this comes up to over 800,000. So that there's two different ways if you've had to use your 800,000 baht for use for emergencies, for medical cover. So the next way I'm going to look upon it, again, it's just ways of thinking outside of the box. If you're of an age where you can't afford the medical cover or something like that, but you have an amount of money for, I would say, never say to people don't have anything saved up for medical emergencies, but here's another way of looking upon it. Why wait to find out there's something up with you? And then once you found out something's up with you, then it's like a knee-jerk reaction as to what you need to go and do. Majority of people that come over here with pre-existing conditions already know what's up with them. So they're already on the medication. So that you just take that into consideration, is that this is always going to be an onward cost. So whilst you're over here, you know already what things are going wrong with you. I would suggest maybe it's every 2 years you can go for a scan at one of the hospitals, the Bangkok Hospital or the Belmagrad Hospital, and you get a CT scan from there down to your waist, which looks at your lungs, your kidneys, your liver, your heart. These are the things that are going to start going wrong in old age. So therefore, if it's 30 or 40,000 baht that you have to pay to get this scan done, you've got early detection of something that's going to go wrong. So early detection means you can catch it at an earlier stage and suitably do your medication to avoid it getting any worse. And that's 30 or 40,000 baht preventative measures, so you don't have to wait for something to go wrong. It's just another way of looking upon it. What can I do to mitigate me getting sick? And I would say if it's every 2 years you have to go for one of these scans, that works out at 20,000 baht a year, doesn't it? Which is cheaper than getting the medical insurance. Take out accident insurance. You're more likely to have an accident over here than actually get sick of anything. And they're only, between 6,000 and 10,000 baht a year. You can get really, really good accident insurance. So this is ways of covering yourself if you can't afford the medical insurance. And I know when I get to 70-odd-year-old, it's probably about 60 or 70,000 baht a year I'll have to pay just for a small amount of coverage. Now, people say to me that because my coverage is only 700,000, that's not enough. You need 2, 3, 4 million. There was a guy that I was watching the other day on YouTube, and he had a major heart attack, and he had to go into hospital. He had open heart surgery. He had 3 or 4 stents put in, and that came to 1.2 million. 1.2 million. So my little insurance thing is 700,000 wouldn't cover the 1.2 million, but I'm 700,000 baht towards the 1.2 million, if you know what I mean. So it may not be a lot, but if I didn't have insurance, it's 1.2 million. If I can't afford to pay that, then I'm going to die. So there's other ways of looking upon it. When I get my state pension next year, I've got a little bit more disposable income. Then I will up my limit for maybe it's 1.5 million or something like that. So it's using the assets that you've got for the, like your 800,000 is an asset if you've got that saved up. If you own your own house, that's an asset. So you can already borrow money on the asset that you've already got. So it's just using what you have to mitigate anything that's going to go wrong in the future. It's just looking outside of the box. Give me a thumbs up if you like that idea. I don't know how many thumbs up I've got here, but for those people, give it a thumbs up if you like it. Give it a thumbs down if you don't like it. The information that you've got, this is the chance to ask your questions, what you want to know, and I'll give you the answers as best as I can. All right. Good day, Les. Hello, that's an Australian good day, obviously. Good day from Australia. Oh, we've got 71 people now. People must be getting up now because we've been doing it an hour and 17 minutes. So people will be waking up about 9 o'clock in the UK. But next is it next week that the clocks go back, so you get an extra hour in bed? So my next live stream will be at a more reasonable time at 9 o'clock in the morning as opposed to 8 o'clock in the morning. I always get good feedback with regard to people doing the live stream. People like it. I do lots of videos on all sorts of things. Somebody wrote to me the other day that they didn't like watching me car washing videos, and they said I put too many but too many stock photographs through it. And somebody answered, well, don't watch just listen to it. Just use it as an audio file and listen to it. So you can't please all the people all of the time. You can just please most of the people some of the time. And again, I talk about soul, I talk about the garden. I'm going down to Hua Hn next week with regard to assisted living. I think I'm one of the channels that probably covers so many different topics on my channel. There isn't just one topic that I cover. And again, I keep answering those people that want to know more. I talk to people almost on a daily, weekly. I'll rephrase that. I meet people every week through my channel. And last week I met a couple who were thinking about moving over here. So we showed them around Rayong, the areas to live, what they could afford, and the availability of property and things like that. And they were sort of amazed as to what you can actually get. And you can get a lot for your money over here compared to living in the UK. Horses for courses, it's not for everybody. At the minute, if you're coming over here to Thailand, it's hot and sticky, and it probably isn't the best time to visit because of the weather. Being hot and sticky, and it's coming into the rainy season next month or the month after. But like next month, we're off to Bangkok for Songkran. Again, Songkran is one of them other things. Some people love it, some people hate it. I actually love it. So we're going to Bangkok for 3 nights, Songkran. So we're doing Khor San Road and I forget what the other one now. But it's near the icon Siam anyway. It's 2 big events. And then we come back to Banpei. Then a day after it's Banpei's Songkran. So we're doing 3 Songkrans this year. And I'm looking forward to every single one of them. And I can't wait. But some people don't like getting soaked by water. I think it's full of happy Thai people. And the atmosphere is just electrifying. So if you've not seen a Songkran, come and do one. It's brilliant. Thousands and thousands and thousands of happy people. It really is worthwhile doing. You're always going to upset someone, Les. Tell me about it. Yeah, again, yeah. It happens, doesn't it? You know, I had a guy, well, as you can imagine, every morning I get up and it takes me maybe an hour to answer all my emails and the comments that people put on me various videos. And I've got to say, I've got a 98% likability according to YouTube. So there are still the odd persons who say they don't like the content or whatever. And I do not remove anybody's comments unless they're offensive. I mean, I'm never offensive on anybody. Constructive criticism, we can all take constructive criticism. But, when one guy says, I don't like you washing the car videos, well, I don't force people to watch any of my videos. Some people do and some people don't. Somebody says to me that I'm always knocking the UK. I'm not knocking the UK. I'm very, very grateful for the UK because the UK provided me with the job and the opportunity so I can live over here now. If they hadn't have done that, I wouldn't be sat here. So I'm forever grateful for the UK. But it's my observations of what's going on in the UK. And from somebody who doesn't live there every single day, it's like I'm not getting drip fedded. In the UK, it's drip fed to you every day. So then it becomes the normal. But when you live outside of it and you come back to it, then you see that's not normal. It's different. And sadly, the UK is going down the pan. And I said to this one individual, I said, you tell me one good thing that's happened in 15 years and I'll take every single video down about the UK and my observations. And I'm still waiting for one good thing that's happened in 15 years. And sadly, there isn't one. So the videos are still up there. And I say the same thing, to people. It's frustrating to see because I used to live there. I still have, family and friends that live in the UK. But it's sad to see what's going on. And it's only when you move away from something like that, you look at it from an outwardly point of view, and you can see the change, what's going on. And I'm sure, the Americans, the Australians, the people from New Zealand, they will all say the same thing as well. When you look from afar, it's totally different. And when you see what's available in other parts of the world, and you're thinking, this is how my country used to be. But sadly, the West, everybody used to be thinking, I'd love to live in America, big everything, big house, big car, lots of money, the wife being at home. That's totally a different view now. It's like everywhere else in the world where you could buy the house with one salary. In the UK now, I think the average is 8 times the normal salary to be able to buy a house. When I was doing it, all the figures were based on 3 times the annual salary. But 2 people have to work now to make ends meet, and that's not the way to go. People are going to have to work until they're at least 67, 68. There's talk about 70, 71. Fancy having to, not everybody can work until that time. We're about a bricklayer, a plumber, a joiner, a sparky. You cannot do that type of thing at 67, 68 years old. It's just impossible. But there has to be something done about it. I agree. But the UK pension's one of the worst pensions paid in the whole world. Crazy. If Thailand won't have you, Cambodia doesn't need health insurance to live there. You don't need health insurance to live here either. You can actually live here without health insurance. But if you go to the doctors, then you need some money to be able to pay your treatment. So you don't need health insurance to live here in Thailand. I would suggest everybody should have health insurance, because at the end of the day, every bit helps, isn't it? My health insurance, medical insurance, cost me 25,000 baht a year. Now I can find that, but I can't find 700,000. So sometimes it's worth paying a little bit of extra, even if you've got 25,000 baht for 700,000 bahts worth of cover. I'll take that any day of the week. But no, you don't need health insurance to live here. But if you haven't got it, you could be in a sticky situation. The UK is going downhill faster now than ever. It's just crazy. I'm on a marriage extension, so insurance is a choice. I mean, on a retirement visa, insurance is a choice. On the DLT visa, Destination Visa Thailand, that's an insurance choice. The only visa that you have to have insurance here in Thailand is a OA visa. If you come to Thailand under OA visa, which you can only apply for outside of Thailand, then you have to have compulsory medical insurance, and you have to have it for the duration of your stay. Whereas if you enter Thailand on a retirement visa, then you can apply for a O visa based on retirement actually over here. When I was in the UK, I applied for an O visa based on marriage. So it wasn't an OA visa, but I applied for an O visa based on marriage. I didn't need to have medical insurance. So it's only the OA visa that you need medical insurance. Everything else can be, you just do it at your own cost, if you like. I thought it was a condition of the retirement VIP. No, you don't need medical insurance on the VIP visa, the elite visa or the retirement visa. It's only the OA visa. No, it doesn't change. It's always been like that. As long as I've lived here, it's always been like that. Only the OA visa is why the OA visa is losing favor with everybody, because you've got to have medical insurance, and it has to be with a Thai insurance company, which is more expensive than if you got medical insurance from your home country. There's guys that I know that are paying less than me for a better cover from the American or the Australian coverage. But because I'm living in Thailand now, I do it with Pacific Cross. But I've been with Pacific Cross now for 10 years. And so I think that's reasonably priced. But yeah, no, it's been like that for a long time. You've never needed insurance, but I would suggest that you need some sort of insurance. And if you haven't got medical insurance, at least take out accident insurance, because let's face it, we can all fall off a ladder, we can all trip over, and especially with the walkways around, the walking in Thailand isn't the best. You can always trip up over something. There's always tripping hazards everywhere, slipping on a slippery floor. When we get older, if we fall over, it's going to hurt a lot more, and you've got more chance of breaking a bone, something like that. So yeah, take out at least accident insurance. Les, what's your neighbours like? Our neighbours are okay, perfect. Again, we live in a detached house, so we can sort of make a bit of noise. And the house at the back of us, it's a big house with a swimming pool, and they've got maybe three houses on their ground, so that there's like 2 or 3 families that live there. Sometimes they have a barbecue or a get together, and the music goes on till about 10 or 11 o'clock, but that's nothing to worry about. That's just the way it is. Our next closest house is maybe 200 meters away, and the other way is about 100 meters away. So we're pretty much, and then the house over the road, she's very, very quiet over there. She's up at 5 o'clock every morning, leaves the house at 5 o'clock every morning. Never hear anything from her. So yeah, we live in a good neighborhood, and it's quiet. We have a few noisy motorbikes with the young kids who put a loud exhaust on it, but dog barking, there's lots of soy dogs around here. So that once the dogs start barking, then they'll have a mad 5 or 10 minutes, but nothing untold really. it's much quieter here than anywhere else I've lived in the UK. We used to have a semi-detached house, and you could hear the neighbours arguing every day. I mean, and they did argue every day, fighting on the grass over a parking space outside of our house. So our neighbours are good, and that's why we bought the house, because our neighbours are good. They're not going to move. It's in a quiet location. Crime is very, very rare in the village. The only crime we've had in the 8 years we've lived here is the bananas across the road have been stolen, and the police found the culprit the following day. So Banana Gate only lasted for a day. There's a good tip to run the AC is to run your AC in a higher temperature, i.e. 26 to 28, also running a fan. You will be surprised. Try it. I'll do it. That's what I do, John. We have it at 27, and we have two fans on. One of the fans is for my wife, and one of the fans is for me. And that's all we do. But we only ever put it on for certainly no more than an hour, because we have a timer switch where it switches it off after an hour. So if we put it on when we go to bed and I fall asleep, rather than it being on all night, the timer will switch it off after an hour. And that's what we do. And it works. It works fine. I never wake up during the night hot and sweaty like I used to do last year, because, you know, sometimes you just, even with a fan on, you can just be uncomfortable. So up to now, fingers crossed, it was good. It isn't the top model that we got, but it's an inverter style air conditioning unit, and that's with Hisense and Samsung and LG and Mitsubishi and things like that. There's a premium to pay. I looked at the Mitsubishi, and it was almost twice the price as it was for the Hisense. Now, we only ever use it in the hot season. The rest of the time we're happy with the fan. So I couldn't justify paying twice as much for a Mitsubishi as we did for the Hisense, because we're only ever going to use it for the 2 or 3 months, say 3 months of the hot season. The rest of the time we won't even get switched on. Same as the air conditioners in the house. We don't use air conditioning. That's why our electricity bill is only 800 baht. And it's 400 baht now because we use the solar system. So swings and roundabouts. There's some people I know who will sit in the house all day with the air conditioning on, and their electricity bill is quite high in comparison to ours. Just get used to the temperature. I mean, I'm sat here now. Over there is the fan blowing onto me. There's a little bit of wind, but not much blowing about, as you can see by the trees there. Very, very little wind. So sitting in front of a fan is good all day, without a doubt. In fact, I'd sooner sit in front of a fan to keep cool than sit in front of an electric fire or a gas fire to keep warm over in the UK at the minute. How far are we from the shops? We're from Banpei. We've got a couple of mom and pop shops around here. We have a 7-Eleven 5 minutes ride away on the motorbike. The Macro and the Tesco Lotus, or Lotus as it is now, that's about 15 minutes away. And we do majority of our shopping there. If we want to go to the big shopping malls and do a big shop at the big Lotus or a big C, then that's 40 minutes into the town. But then we make a day of it. We'll go for lunch. We'll go and do our shopping. And then it's sort of a day out. But majority of our shopping, we have a market twice a week, big market that sells everything for fruit and vegetables and that. We get our meat from Macro, and our washing up liquids and soaps and powders, toilet rolls, kitchen rolls from Lotus. So yeah, them are the places, and that's within 20 minutes from where we live. So we do a big shop once a week, as I say, from there. Yeah. And a lot of the time we go out and eat anyway, because it's just as cheap to go out and eat than it is to cook. And I don't mind that, because we've got several nice restaurants around us where we can go and eat, which is cheap as chips, and it's reasonable location. And again, it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, no more than 10 minutes drive from where we are. So basically, we live okay. There's not any entertainment. There's one bar near where we live, but we're not bar people anyway, so that really doesn't bother us. And I've actually never ever been to it. I've directed a few people to it where it is from around here, but living here, we have our entertainment when we go out with people. We're going out with 3 other couples when we come back from Hua Hn just for 2 nights down by the river, and that works out, I think, 3,000 or 4,000 baht for 2 nights. But that includes a river cruise where they provide all the food for breakfast, lunch, and evening meal, and a karaoke on the night on this barge or something. So it's sort of a big party that we're going to go to, and we're looking forward to that. But that's how we're entertaining. We socialise with the other groups of people rather than sitting in a bar all the time. Horses for courses. Where we live as a single person, it's no good for a single person around here. There is some adult entertainment, maybe 45 an hour away from here for those single guys, but there's not a lot going on around here. This is a couple's location. Either you got the wife or you got the girlfriend, and you want to escape the madness, and you want to come live in a reasonably priced area. The house prices are reasonable because it's not a tourist location, and the food and the hotels and the restaurants are all reasonably priced because it's not a tourist location. We don't have a lot of Ruskies here at the present, and it's the Ruskies that's causing the problems in Phuket. We actually do the same. Oh, well, that's good to hear. We live on a down in the Gulf, and it's full of young tourists and can be a nightmare. But we also have peace up north, and it's similar to your setup. Nice, Thai neighbours, never any noise. Vogel highlights. Hi, Vogel. Yeah, again, as I say, if we go up to the wife's farm, that is rural location. And there is I am the only foreigner in the village. But that's nice in itself as well, because when we go up Ploy's farm, she spends quality time with her family, with her mum and dad and her son, and the neighbours and things like that. And I'm sitting on the veranda with the dogs. I like dogs, but I would never have a dog here because they're too tiring. So I have my time sitting on the veranda, watching the world go by, watching the chickens running and eating, and it's funny in itself. And I can have a ride around on the motorbike. I got the market with the wife, but it's a very, very different feeling. I couldn't live there full-time, rural location, and I've done a couple of videos on that I couldn't live that type of lifestyle. And if we decided to live in Ploy's house, it would be a different lifestyle anyway, because at the end of the day, Ploy would be expected to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Even though she's married to me, it wouldn't be accepted by her family or the village, the fact that she gets up at 10 o'clock in the morning here. I've got no problem with that because I'm up at 7 or 8 o'clock and I have a couple of hours doing the emails and things like that. And then Ploy gets up at 10 o'clock. But she only needs 4 hours sleep a night anyway. So she doesn't go to sleep until 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. So she's on the watching YouTube and things like that. Everybody's different, We're quite well matched. We like the same things. We like the holidays and stuff like that. And if I said to Ploy, pack the suitcase, we're away on holiday tomorrow, the suitcase will be packed and she's all ready to go on a holiday tomorrow, which is brilliant. And as it is, we are on holiday tomorrow. We're going down to Hua Hn for 4 days. So, yeah, it's a good match. She's 26 years younger than me, but we get on like a house on fire. I give her space and she gives me my space, and we sort of get on very well with each other, and long may it last. We've been together 9 years in July, so 9 years. So our 10th anniversary, which is next year, so I'll be 66. 10 years we've been together. I haven't planned where we're going to go, but it'll be something big next July. I don't know yet, but we're just thinking of where we can go for our 10th anniversary and my 66th birthday, because that means then I get my state pension, and woohoo, that's going to come in handy for lots and lots of other holidays and things like that. So we're looking forward to that. I don't like the number 66, but I don't mind the price that comes with it. and I get about another 35 to 40,000 baht per month, which is going on holidays and luxurious things. It is the Israelis that's causing the problems, not the Russians. Oh, well, yeah, I've heard, I mean, I've got, as you can imagine, I've got people I talk to all over Thailand, and it's the Russians that are being told are causing all the problems in Phuket area, and it's the Israelis that are causing problems in the Pai area. Again, this is the first time I've ever heard that Israelis are causing problems in this country. But again, there's an Israeli influence all over Thailand as well. They have little kibbutz and things like that and groups of Israelis. But the young people, young and daft. And we seen a number of them in Pai when we were there at Christmas time. They'd all been tubing, and there must have been about 100, 150 of them all in trucks, all singing and drunk young people. But come on, we were all drunk at one stage when we were young, weren't we? And I'm sure there was lots of old people who complained about us being drunk and noisy and rowdy. So alcohol, young people equals noise and disruption. But the amount of money they bring in for the alcohol, for the tourists, not for the tourists, for their establishments that they're drinking, they just have to be reminded every now and then that, you know, act like a grown-up, like not like a kid. Or it happens, and there's lots of things. They're on about changing the visas. This is another one that they're on about changing the visa system now, whereas you get your 60 days and then you can extend it to 90 days. You extend it by 30 days or all, they get 90 days. And they're saying now that the average tourist stops between 7 days and 21 days. So their opinion is 60 days is far too long, and it's encouraging the wrong type of tourists. And I would agree with that slightly, but again, it's the few that cause all the problems are going to affect everybody, you know. So the police need to stamp down on this bad behaviour and make an example of these people. I mean, they sent 4 of the Israelis home, didn't they, who caused some bother in the hospital. Now that word gets around, doesn't it? And if that's the attitude of the police, that you're going to be expelled from this country, that is a deterrent, and that is a warning to others, and let them carry on doing that and getting rid of the bad people who cause all the problems, because they're just going to spoil it for everybody else. It's always a few that spoil it for the many. It's the same no matter where you are in the world. Seen YouTube, some Swedish people visit local tax offices with proof that tax paid in Sweden were helped with tax declaration and were told no tax in Thailand since tax paid in Sweden was more. Good to hear. Good to hear. Again, you're the first person to actually ask, you know, from I asked 1 hour and 40 minutes ago with regard to anybody who's got any information with regard to the tax. So thank you very much for that, John. And again, I'd agree with it. I mean, I'm going to go. I've not got a tax number. I've never been in the tax office. I tell many people, listen, just wait, see what happens. The 2 tax advisors that I spoke to were supposed to be the top in their business. One company said, I'll pay tax, and the other company said not. My friend has just been told by a company in Pattaya, I don't know which company it was, he said, you'll probably end up paying 20,000 baht. And I can't understand why he's going to be maybe 20,000 baht. There's another company that was going to charge me 7,000 baht to get a tax ID number. And I've been told also that you can get it for free if you're going to do the work yourself. But they're frightening everybody, and everybody think, oh, you know, like, I need to do this, need to do that. Just go down to the tax office. You need an interpreter with you, so your wife, your girlfriend, somebody that can speak and understand English and translate for you. You might, if you don't have one of them already, you can actually, you know, pay somebody to go and do it for you. Go down to the tax office, find out from the horse's mouth, from the tax people, what they want and what they don't want. I was told by this tax guy that I don't even have to register as a tax because it's a government pension. All I need to do is prove that I've got a government pension. So I must have to prove it to somebody. So I must have to, but he didn't say who I have to prove it to, whether it's the immigration, whether it's the tax office or whatever. So I will be going down to the tax office, and I'll do a video about it when I go down there. But I don't want to be like the many other YouTubers. Oh, this is the answer. This is what it is. It'll be my circumstances and what, because everybody's needs is totally different. I'm English, so that'll be totally different to the Australians, New Zealand, Japanese, Chinese, Europeans, or whatever. Everybody's case is totally different. So what is good for me might not be good for you. So I would suggest go down to the tax office and ask the tax office. That's my advice to anybody with regard to the tax. But thanks very much for letting me know about the Sweden. Chances are it'll be the same people with it. Anybody that's got a tax agreement with Thailand, I'm sure it'll be the same. It's wealthy people that they're trying to get, and it's the wealthy people who are trying to avoid paying it. So, you know, they cast the net out to get to the wealthy people, but sadly, there's a lot of small fry, such as retired people, have been dragged in with the nets, and sadly, they have to prove, you know, that they don't have a lot of money to live on to avoid paying tax. Yeah, who's that? Whoop. No. I'll answer that later. Sod's law, isn't it? Somebody wants to speak to you when you're on air. So yeah, okay. There are also lots of Hua Hn and Hua Tao. Oh, I take it that's the Israelis. Yeah. We are of a similar age difference and live our life. Give each other space and respect. We're together since 2004 and have a great life. Yeah, it is possible. There's nothing difficult about, you know, if the chemistry's there, then it's great. And I've got to say that my wife, Thai wife, she's the best. This is my fourth wife, so I've had quite a few wives, and I've got to say she knocks the spots off everybody else. She's not perfect, but then again, I'm not perfect. But we've sort of, at 8.5 years of being together, we're okay with each other. So everything works. And as long as everything works, then that's great, isn't it? So I've traveled halfway around the world and I found a perfect partner, and she's very good, and long may it last. So, all right, what else are we going to talk about? Okay, with regard to assisted living, I'll go back on to assisted living because that's quite a popular topic, and I've got one or two other things to say about this as well. Is that if you own your own house and you don't want to go through the assisted living where you're renting or you're moving into like an area where you have 24-hour nursing call and things like that, the cost of care over here in Thailand is phenomenally cheap in comparison to what you'd pay in the UK or America. For instance, like this house, I will own it one day, so I won't have any bills to pay. I won't have any rent to pay. At the minute, we're paying 20,000 baht a month because we're buying it on a rent-to-buy system. But one day that rental will stop, and it will be, I know it'll never be my house. It'll be my wife's. It'll be my wife's name, but I've got a 30-year lease on it, so she can't throw me out. There are things that people can do to stop from losing everything, and that's what I tell people. Think of everything, and then go and seek a lawyer, find out what you can and what you can't do, and then you're covered for any eventuality. And I've had 3 heavy hits with 3 ex-wives, so I ain't going to make it a 4th one. So I'm taking precautions, but like I say, one day that rental won't be payable. So you can, if you're in a state where you're living in your own home, we live in a 2-bedroom nice house here. I'm going to build a little granny flat, a little granny annex on the side of the house. It's going to be one of the knockdown houses that you can get. And that's going to cost about 200,000 baht over a period of time. And basically, that gives somebody somewhere to live, and they have their own bathroom and bedroom type of thing, and then they come and work here. I don't want my wife to have to look after me 24 hours a day. I want her to have some respite from that, and by employing somebody to do that, that's the way that I'm forward planning, that if I get into that situation, then she doesn't have to do it 24 hours a day. Because I see my friend who's got dementia, his girlfriend looks after him 24 hours a day, and she needs some holiday, she needs some time off, which he doesn't get because he's not on an income to provide the extra care. Whereas I'll be in a different situation to that. So you can get somebody like a home helper to help you along the way, and that can be like for 8 hours a day, 8,000 baht, 8,000 baht a month, which isn't a lot. And you could also have, if you wanted 24-hour care from a qualified nurse, 40,000 baht a month for 24-hour care from a qualified nurse. I can't really see anybody needing 24-hour care from a qualified nurse. So if you look at in between 8,000 and 40,000, so let's go 25,000 baht. That's what I was paying for the rent for this place. So just take over the rent and say I'll spend what I was paying on rent or the loan for the house, and that gives me, or it gives my wife, a break, that she's got somebody else to cook, clean, take care of me, so she isn't saddled with, if you like, with my, if I get dementia or Alzheimer's or if I have a stroke and things like that. She has got some help and she's not doing it totally on her own. Now the Thais look at it totally different to us. She said, don't worry about that, don't worry about that. You know, I'll be there to look after you no matter what. But it's my own feelings for that, because I've seen my stepdad, who was 80 years old, looking after my mother, who was 80-odd-year-old as well. And we shouldn't live in a country where an 80-year-old has to take over an 80-year-old's life, cook, clean, take care of her when she's had an accident in the bed and stuff like that. I can afford that. My wife doesn't have to do that. So just because it's assisted living, you don't have to go into an assisted living accommodation or assisted living to do these things. Again, it's just thinking outside of the box. Potentially, because we live in a 2-bedroom house, she could stay in the second bedroom and do it. But I wanted to provide, so she's got her own space as well, so she's not in the house with us all of the time. So there's things you can do. And this knockdown houses for, between 150 is the cheapest that we've seen, up to 500,000. It depends on what bigger property you've got. But we've got one and it will be 6 meters by 3 meters, and roughly about 200,000. But I might actually be building it myself as a project, because I like building. I like doing something. I'm not a welder. I've never welded in my life, but I can buy a welder and the chop saw, and I might just do it over a period of a year or a year and a half project, just to show that I'm 65-year-old, I will be 65-year-old, and this is the standard of building that I could do. And I'm quite looking forward to doing that. I'd like to do that, because that's just up right my street, if you like, as opposed to getting one that's already been built. I built my own houses. I built 25 houses on the first scheme and 35 houses on the second scheme. So I've done everything from digging the foundations and putting the roof tiles on, but I've never, ever made a metal frame house. And that'd be quite interesting to do, welding it and making it and designing it myself. So I'm looking forward to that. Gordon, I'll catch up later. The sea is calling. Okay, Gordon, if you must, thanks very much for joining me. Enjoy the sea. And do a bit of snorkeling around the corner as well, because that's where we'll be going when we come around, the snorkeling side. That looks fantastic. And I hope you catch a big fish. See you later, Gordon. Okie dokie. What time are we at? 4:50, nearly 5 o'clock. What's the bar to go to for full service in Thailand? The bar to go to for full service in Thailand, if that's full adult services, almost every bar in one way or another does a full adult service. So you're not spoilt for choice for adult services. But again, I mean, I live a different lifestyle now. I lived in Jomtien for 2 years, and so my time in Pattaya and Jomtien was good. And I've sort of been there, done it, got the T-shirt, and it's like everything. You know, it's a man's paradise, which is Pattaya, but it can be the ruination of a man coming to Pattaya, because I say the people who come to Pattaya enjoy it for a while, but it's not the real Thailand at all. There's a price to pay for those people who live the lifestyle in Pattaya, and it's just like Pinocchio. There's a price to pay for visiting Pattaya, but it's good fun, and it can be fun and entertaining, but it's totally not real at all. There's far better places to live in Thailand, but again, majority of guys that I speak to here have either been widowed, divorced, or never been married, and they come over to Thailand for the first time, and they think it's a wonderful place. What is there not to like about it? It's the warmth, the women are beautiful, the lifestyle is easy, free going, and people are happy. We went to a concert, me and the wife, the other week, and there was like 4,000 or 5,000 people at this concert, and it was one of Thailand's top bands that were playing. And although I don't know any of the words that the song that they were singing, when you've got 3,000 or 4,000 people singing and they're all happy, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic feeling just to see that many people happy. And there was lots of alcohol being served at this event, and it was free to go and see it, free to park your car. I didn't see any trouble whatsoever. Lots of food, which is the same price that you'd pay anywhere else on the street food. So you don't get ripped off by anybody. How many people have been to an event where the burger stand charges maybe 4 times more than what you'd pay for the burger outside of the event? Here, the alcohol's the same price. The food is the same price. I've got a spider crawling over my you might see him coming across the lens in a minute. Oh no, he's gone around the back of the phone now. But I thought you might have seen this big spider going over the lens. That would have been funny. So no, that's what I'm saying. There's so many events over here that are free to go to, and do you get any trouble? Of course you get trouble. No matter alcohol and young people, you know, you can have some trouble. And we have seen a little bit of fighting with the Cambodians against Cambodians and things like that. But how many events have you been to? You're always going to see a little bit of trouble, but it's few and far between here because the police, and they have military police at some of these big events as well. And they're going with the sticks, with the batons, and they're sorted out. So it never escalates into something really, really big. So where can you say that you've been to an event where you parked your car for free? It's not like 10 or 15 or 20 quid to park your bloody car. So it's a different lifestyle over here. You've got to come and have a look at it. So for those people who've never been to Thailand, put it on your list, come and have a look, see what you think, and then let me know whether you like it or whether you don't. I think the majority of people that are on here like it. Again, there's nobody knocking Thailand here on the comments. Everybody seems to be okay. I heard only Bangkok is safe. No, everywhere is safe. Everywhere's safe. Pattayas, I've walked around Pattaya steaming drunk at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I've never been robbed. I've never been attacked. I've never been abused. Never been pushed, shoved, argued with. I'm a very tolerant guy anyway. So what I would say that if you do involve in an argument in Thailand, let them win. Just say, yeah, okay. Don't be confrontational with them, because when all said and done, it's their country. And if you do pick a fight with a Thai person, you're fighting the whole of Thailand, not just that one person, because everybody will come to the aid of the Thai person. You are never, ever going to win an argument over here. So sometimes we can say the wrong things and it's being taken the wrong way, and we can end up in an argument that's not our fault, but eat a bit of humble pie and just walk away from it. Bangkok is safe. I've walked again. I did a video. My wife wasn't feeling very well, so she stayed in the hotel. I walked to Khao San Road, which is about 20-25 minute walk from our hotel, and I walked down some very, very dark alleys on the way home, and that was about 11 or 12 o'clock at night, and I'd had a few beers, and didn't even worry me at all. Very safe, very okay. I was walking around with a 400-pound camera, and nothing was done. And I had my iPhone as well. So if somebody robbed me, as they would do in London, with an iPhone and a DJI camera, there's a thick end of £1,000 they could just take on 2 items. But in Bangkok, nah, never even crossed my mind. So that's what I'm saying. How many robberies are going on at the minute in London? Rolex watches, telephones, anything to do with, any luxury item is being taken off you. Stealing of motorbikes and scooters is just epidemic. Stealing of food from shops, gang raiding with the iPhone shops and the high-tech shops. It's just crazy. Exactly like the Pinocchio movie, Pattaya. I always felt that too. Yeah, it is. There's at the end of the day, when he's growing his big ears and his tail, that sort of thing, that you will end up paying that price in Pattaya if you stay there too long. But it's a fantastic place. It's a lovely place, but just have it also in the back of your mind that it's not real. I'm trying to plan my first trip to Thailand, and I'm just trying to know how much to bring for full service in the bars. The other costs I can deal with, it's just the full service costs though, mate. Okay, I'll give you some service costs. Here we go. I give this advice to many people, and I used to take people around Pattaya, and I say to people, and we have me and the wife. It's not just me. Don't take it like that. There's me and the wife. I've had some guys who were a little bit nervous about coming to Pattaya. So I said, just pay for 2 nights accommodation for me and the wife, and we will hold you by the hand and take you around to several establishments around Pattaya, and we'll show you how it works. And in reality, we're there for 2 nights, but after the first night, you click on very, very easily and very, very quickly, and it's not difficult at all. So we stay in the Flipper House or Flipper Lodge on Soi 7, which is about 1,500 baht. So for 3,000 baht, somebody gives us 3,000 baht to stay in there for 2 nights and buys a few beers, and we take them around various places around Pattaya and show them how safe it is. And for your particular question about the full service, here we go. This is what I say to people. If you want to sort of cut your teeth and have everything that you need to have in one financial transaction, going to a soapy is probably the best. Because if you talk to a bar girl, you're going to incur costs for the bar girl drinks, which now are about 150 baht. If you like the girl and you want to take her away from the bar, it's between 500 and 800 baht. So now you're almost over 1,000 baht just talking to the girl and negotiating it, taking out the bar. She may charge you 2,000 or 3,000 baht. So now you're up to 3,000 to 4,000 baht for a short time. And the short time is, people ask me, what's a short time? You come, she goes. That's a short time. So if you're going to a soapy, you've got different prices of the girls, and they're all sat there, and you look at them, and you see the girl that you like. Now they range anywhere from 2,000 up to 5,000 baht for an hour and a half of ultimate man's pleasure. So you pick the girl, she showers you off, she has a bath with you, she puts you onto Lilo and rubs herself all over you for an hour and a half. Well, an hour or so, but the total experience is about an hour and a half, and then you end up with a full service, if you want to put it that way, and you come out with a big smile on your face, and that could be anywhere from 2.5 to 5,000 baht, guaranteed, and you have a good time, and everything is brilliant. And for soapies, I think, for my own personal opinion, it's the best value of getting what you're looking for. So that's what Pattaya can offer, and it's easily affordable, and it's much safer and much smoother transaction, you like, than finding the bar girls and going down to Pattaya for that type of thing. But it is available. But also, chatting to the bar girls and things like that is an enjoyable experience in itself as well. Some people would question that the soapy is a wham bam thank you ma'am, and that's it. There's no connection there, and there's no crack, if you like. But you've got to go and experience it. But again, the prices of the bar girls, it can be anywhere from 2,000 up to 5,000 or 6,000. Depends on your negotiation skills. Then there's a bar fines, and then there's a bar girl drinks 150 baht a go. So yeah, them costs can soon add up. They really can. So the cheap nights out in Pattaya when I was a lad, they've totally and utterly gone. It's much more expensive now to have the similar night out in Pattaya than it was a few years ago. So I hope that answers your question. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. I'll just say you got the information that you liked. And again, just go and live it. It's very, very good. Yes, thank you for that information. Good. I hope it, without going into too much detail, you get the drift of it. You know, everything and anything is available in Pattaya. The gentlemen's clubs are good. The probably one of the best but worst places to go to is the Windmill Club in Walking Street. It's the best but the worst, if you like, but it is very eye-opening. I would say for the most entertaining night, what's the word for it? Go down Soi 6. Soi 6 is the soi with the most girls per square meter than you'll see anywhere else in Thailand. And again, I took my stepdad to Soi 6, and he had a massive smile on his face. He didn't do anything. But when my mum died, he always wanted to come to Thailand, so he came across with him. He was 82 at the time, and his son, and we took him round all the bars, and he had a massive smile on his face. He just liked what was going on, and he had a good time. So Soi 6 is good for just watching the world go by as well. And it is possible to go down Soi 6 and not do anything, just sit and watch the world go by, as my stepdad did, and he loved it. So yeah, that answers. I hope that answers all your questions for that. But it's the same in Bangkok, but it's less in your face in Bangkok, and there's only a couple of streets, Nana Plaza and Soi Cowboy, whereas Pattaya, basically from Soi 1 up to Soi 36 or whatever, it's a huge place to go and party and play. Soi Buakhao is very, very good area. Tree Town, I'm not too fussed on Tree Town. I think it's too big, and the bars are competing with the music and things like that. But Soi Buakhao, Soi Lenki is fantastic. It's a little square just off Soi Buakhao. It's brilliant. They're my favourite places to go. When me and the wife go with some friends, we go. It's not all about the entertainment. We go down to watch the live bands and things like that, and the food. You just get anything and everything you want to eat around the world in Thailand, in Pattaya. So we go park the car up, and we go with a group of friends, and we go to a couple of live music bars and have a good time. The Sailor Bar, Soy 8, their cocktails, I think they're only 70 baht. They used to be 60 baht, but the cocktails now are 70 baht each. The food is phenomenal in there, and it's cheap. And you could just sit in there all night and just watch the world go by, which is good. So, yeah, Patti has a lot to offer. But again, it's a play town. So I wouldn't take your wives or girlfriends to the party town of Pattaya. Okay, what else have we got? I just don't feel safe about the inside stuff or being around stuff. Well, yeah, okay. As far as feeling unsure and that's concerned, every year we used to have because I worked for the fire service for 30 years, so every year we used to have a boys' weekend away, and we went to Prague and Budapest, two of the places, and one of the lads that took us, he sort of knew what the score was, where to go and where not to go, and there was like 40 of us who went. And we sort of all had a briefing before we went. We all sat as a group of people, and he said, in Budapest and Prague, he says, if you go out with a group of 6, because we all split it, we didn't go out in one group of 40. We had, little cliques of friends and stuff like that. So he said, if there's a group of you between 6 and 10 of you, and 10 of you go into a bar, 10 of you come out of the bar. You don't leave anybody behind. And you always make sure, watching each other's back. He said, because over here, it's a dangerous place. And I'll give you a couple of incidents. There was, we jumped in the taxi to go to this certain place, and we had a list of nightclubs that we wouldn't go to. And this taxi driver, there was 4 of us in the taxi. Taxi driver took us to this place that was on the list not to go in. And we said, no. He said, yeah, it's good. And we said, no, we're not going to go in there. So we went into the pub opposite this nightclub he tried to get us in, and we had a beer there, and then 2 English lads ran in from this nightclub opposite, and like 5 or 6 bouncers come running after them, and there was a bit of an altercation, and we tried to sort it out, and what it was, they got charged £45 for a beer in this club. So £45 for a beer. And that was the first beer that they had, because they were sitting talking to the girls. That was their fee, if you like, 45 quid, and they didn't have £45 for the beer, so they just did a runner. So the bouncers came into the bar, took the wallet off them, and took all the money out of the wallet and just walked off. So these 2 lads were very, very shocked, and that was it. That's just one event in that was Prague. Another one in Budapest, a lad went down a back alley with somebody who offered to give him, some personal service, if you like, and he was robbed by a big black man. Big black man came over and threatened him and stole his wallet and his mobile phone. And he met us in the bar afterwards, and we said, "You're stupid." But we told him not to go. He said, No. He said, I know what I'm doing. Big roughy toughy, airy ass firefighter. He got mugged that night. And another guy, again in Prague, met these 2 girls. He said he was going back to their apartment with these 2 girls, and he never got out the taxi without being robbed. The taxi driver pulled a gun on him, robbed him of his iPhone and his wallet, chucked him out where he was, and he ended up having to walk back to the hotel. And he said he was happy just to be able to live and tell the tale, although he lost everything. So that's what I'm saying. But Pattaya, that doesn't happen. It really doesn't happen, so you're safe. So I hope that sort of calms your nerves down a little bit. It is what it is. If you're drunk and stupid, then drunk and stupid is going to get you in trouble no matter where you are. But as long as you're safe and you're respectable and kind and courteous to even the bar girls, if you say something wrong with them, say you're sorry. Even if it isn't your fault, say you're sorry. Or just the general stuff, you're just safe walking around. I never ever felt threatened here in Thailand. So anyway, that's enough about that. Has anybody got anything else that they want to ask? We've been going now for 2 hours and 14 minutes, which is, my voice is croaky now, so I'm having some water. I want to keep all my belongings. That's the only what I'm worried about. Well, if you're on about mobile phones and things like and watches, and don't go out flaunting it. I mean, there's so many Indians that have lost their 200,000 baht of gold around their neck. And me personally, I just think it's a scam what they're doing, the lady boys and that. But if you're walking around with, like, look what I've got here, look at my Rolex watch, look at my iPhone 16s or 16e or whatever it is, the new iPhone, you're going to draw attention. If you're scared about losing things like that, just go and buy a cheap mobile phone from Thailand when you're over, because you need a phone anyway, so to get a Thai number, so at least you're in contact with anything, and leave your stuff in the hotel safe. I think you're overly worried about coming over here. You think maybe you've heard a few horror stories, but I can say you're more safe here than you probably are in your own country. Talking of which country, so which country are you from? That you feel so unsafe, like with that. There's only London at the minute that I could suggest that's more dangerous than over here. But again, if you're showing off all your wealth, then there's other people looking, that's for sure, and that's no matter where you are in the world. And the girls, they're not going to rob you, because when all's said and done, if you take a girl back to your room in the hotel, they have to show the ID card to the hotel, and before the girl gets her ID card back, the reception will ring you and make sure everything's okay. So safe as houses living here. Pardon me. So, okay, right, what else have we got to talk about? We've talked about the tax, talked about the lease agreements, 30 plus 30 plus 30, assisted living, which I'm going to next week, going down to Hua Hn for 3 or 4 days to look at the new assisted living properties down there. We've talked about the visas, what's going on with the visas. We've talked about the bank accounts. What I don't like about Thailand, even though I sing Thailand's praises, I'm tolerant about living here in Thailand. The health and medical, ways to get around the system, not get around the system, but use the money that you've got and the things that you can do with regard to, getting medical treatment or preventative medicines and stuff like that. And having a different way of thinking when you come over here. And that's all the questions that I've got in there. That's all the things I've talked about over the 2 hours and 18 minutes. My phone, my money, my cards, my passport. Again, everybody has the same. Everybody has a good phone, has a bit of money, and your passport. Again, hotel safe. Leaving your hotel safe. There's no need to take your passport around with you. There's no need to carry a big wadger of cash around with you. Again, put your money into 2 or 3 different pockets. So, I mean, there's a belt. When I first came here, because I thought the same thing when I first came. In fact, when I first came here, I sold my iPhone because I had the same thoughts as you. And so I sold my iPhone and I bought a cheap mobile phone when I got to Thailand. I had a belt that had a zip pocket, and I used to put 2,000 baht in the zip pocket of the belt. So that was my emergency in case I lost everything. And I had 2 pockets and never ever carried a wallet around with me. The little coin pocket that you've got in your jeans, I used to put a 2,000 baht in there as well. So I used to carry maybe 6,000 or 8,000 baht with me. And in reality, you don't need that much around with you anyway. And I never ever had any trouble whatsoever. Look, I don't wear a watch. I've got a Rolex watch in my safe here. It's a Rolex copy, but why even wear a Rolex copy? Because if somebody's after your Rolex watch, they don't know it's a copy until they get it. and you don't want to be robbed. So don't walk around with a top of the range watch on you. So it's just preventative measurements, isn't it? I'm in Australia, but I'm from Russia. Country. My dad's from New Zealand, and half Kiwi, half Muslim, and half Christian. Also of dad. Oh, so yeah, a bit of everything, really. But again, any of them, as I say, it's just do the normal things. Don't draw attention to yourself. That's the safest way to go. Or you can cover yourself in, buy a big cotton wool suit and don't go anywhere, do anything. Life is a risk sometimes, but you can avoid a lot of risks by taking care of your location and being aware of things around you. Thailand is a very, very safe place to come. So we'll move on from that. But yeah, don't be afraid. Get yourself here and have a good time. And you will have a good time, that's for sure. Okay, 2 hours and 21 seconds. 2 hours, 21 and 6 seconds. Okay, so if anybody's got any else to say, if not, we'll draw the live stream to a close. And I've got to thank everybody for joining the live stream. Have a look at my videos, see what you think, and have a great time while you're over here. How much should I bring? Well, again, how much to bring is like how long is a lump of string? It depends what you want to do. If you want to go and live in the adult entertainment, then you'll need a lot of money. But if you just want a normal everyday living, they call them the 2-week millionaires when they come on holiday, because you just spend money as if it's going out of fashion. And you can spend a lot of money here very, very quickly. But if you want to stay here, we live on like £1,500 a month. But that's a steady relationship with a partner and stuff like that. You can live on that amount of money over here. But if you want to live in Pattaya, you'll probably need double that to live in Pattaya or Bangkok. So that's just the way it is, Come have a look first and see what you think anyway. Oh, Mark, super chat. Okay, thank you very much for that super chat, Mark. I'll give you a call. Thanks very much for that. I was thinking of £1,000. Yeah, that lasted for 2 weeks. And I would imagine that's £1,000 UK, not £1,000 Australian. Because if it's £1,000 or $1,000 Australian, that's about 500 quid. In Pattaya, that would be gone in a week, easily, if not 2 or 3 days. So do your research, have a look, and see what you think. But you need a lot more than if it's 1,000 Australian dollars. That's the way it goes. So anyway, okay, thanks very much for everybody. I'll finish it there. Thanks very much for joining us. If anybody's got any questions that they want, please send me an email to lesliepeterson58.com, and I'll answer any questions that you may have. And if I can't answer the questions, I will send you on to the people who can. I've been here for 12 years, so I've been there, seen it done, and got the T-shirt, and I'm a man of many things, and there's a solution to any problem in the world, including living here in Thailand. So thanks very much, everybody. Thank you very much, Mark, for the super chat, and bye for now.